Hi Marlies, I hope everybody is well in Los Angeles at the moment and the Anglophile Channel. This week is a very special event for Her Majesty the Queen, and Helena and I thought this would be a great occasion to talk about for your wonderful channel. So on the 9th of September, Marlies, the Queen will become the longest ever serving monarch on the throne. Queen Victoria lasted 23,226 days, 16 hours and 23 minutes. How about that for a fact? The Queen, after 6 o'clock in the morning, will now become, on September the 9th, the longest ever serving monarch. So Marlies, we thought we would share some of our happy memories of the Queen as well, Helena and I, with some of Helena's great photographs and some of my anecdotes going back almost 50 years. So Marlies, I'm in a slightly more sedate area of our central London studio again. People ask me what are my most favourite memories of the Queen, bearing in mind that I've worked for 50 years with members of the royal family. I think for me, my most famous memory is of a mistake I particularly made, which the Queen did not find particularly amusing, to say the least. In the Silver Jubilee of the 1970s, I was asked to photograph the Queen and the Boy Scout Association of Great Britain in Hyde Park. The association had decided to go into the Guinness Book of Records and cook the longest ever sausage in the world. This sausage sprawled in troughs right across Hyde Park, so you can imagine how long this situation was. So I duly arrived and I saw the Queen arrive at the bottom of what appeared to be a maze of sausage going up and down rows. So I thought the best thing to do was for me to go into the middle section where I could get a close-up of the Queen, expecting and inspecting some of the part of the sausage. So as she started to walk towards me and I started to take some photographs, I then realised that the entrance that I had taken at the top of the longest sausage in the world was now being blocked by the Duke of Edinburgh, who was walking towards me from the other direction. I suddenly realised I was in no man's land, and the reality was I couldn't go backwards, I couldn't go forwards, and there wasn't enough room for the Queen virtually to pass by me. So as the Queen walked up and down the rows, she could see my predicament, and then that particular day it had been raining as well, so she held an umbrella in her hand. Finally she started walking down the road that I was in. Now she advanced and I wondered, what should I do? The only thing that seemed appropriate would be that I knelt down first of all and tried to curl underneath this trough. As she walked towards me, she raised her brolly, and I thought, she's either going to knight me for quick thinking, or she's going to hit me over the head with her brolly. As she managed to sidle past me, she looked down at me, gave me a slightly icy stare, and went, I had received the royal hump. And that wasn't a good situation for me to be with. So at times the Queen could have a discerning thought process on people like myself.
Princess Elizabeth, as a young child, was very, very prim and proper and orderly, unlike her mischievous sister Margaret Rose. But on one occasion, during a French lesson, Marion Crawford was very, very, very shocked to find Princess Elizabeth up to tricks. Now, we discovered that she really, really didn't like her French lessons, and she sat there and thought, what can I do to stop my French lesson? She really, really didn't like it, and she just sat there, picked up her pot of ink and poured it all over her head, and all this black ink trickled through her blonde little curls. Marion Crawford was absolutely horrified, obviously raced to clean Princess Elizabeth up, but it just shows that there was a little bit of mischief within Princess Elizabeth. On the 13th of March 2015, the UK's Afghanistan war effort was honoured at St Paul's Cathedral. It was a lovely, lovely affair, and it was a beautiful, intimate moment where I captured a very special photograph. The Queen and Philip coming down the steps at St Paul's Cathedral, and the Queen put out her hand to Philip, and the Philip took her hand lovingly and helped her down the steps. And it was a beautiful moment, and Philip is always by her side and always will be. I attended the Order of the Garter service this year on the 13th of June and captured a truly amazing picture, well, to me a great picture, where the Queen smiled at me. The Queen and Philip were both wearing their blue cloaks and had their white plumes, and as they walked past me in the summer breeze, I captured this lovely shot. It means so much to me, and it was a fabulous service, a fabulous day.
Thank you, Helena, for those wonderful memories, and they are terrific photographs that you've taken as well. This week I've been complaining that not enough has been done about commemorating the Queen being the longest ever serving monarch. But then in my newspaper today, what do we get? We get this. So it's 80 pages of wonderful photographs. So at long last, at least someone at the palace is looking at us. Well, it's goodbye from both of us in London, Marlies. Goodbye from me. And Helena, I think, has got a last word to say as well.
Yeah, of course. So congratulations to the Queen for being the longest reigning monarch on the 9th of September. But not only are there stunning pictures which chart her reign at Holyrood House, Windsor and Buck Powell, but we have heard that she will be also performing a speech, so we are looking forward to that.
And thank goodness for that, because at least it's commemorating this most historic occasion. Bye, Marlies.
Bye.
Bye.